The Power of Inner Conversations. Written and published by Audible Aria. Discovering the pathway to the reality you dream of involves a unique insight. The key to transforming your life isn't found in the world around you, but within the realm of your own thoughts. Picture your mind as a vibrant tapestry where each thread represents an inner dialogue shaping the fabric of your reality. Now imagine the power to tweak these threads, molding them into the life you've always yearned for. It might sound like a whimsical idea. Every one of us engages in mental self-talk throughout our waking moments. For your desires to materialize, your inner dialogues must harmonize with the envisioned outcome. It's a transformative concept that urges us to synchronize our thoughts with our aspirations. If we want a better job and imagine ourselves getting congratulated for landing a fantastic position, it's important to align our inner thoughts with that goal. I've noticed that we don't talk to each other like we used to, with fewer real conversations happening nowadays. Perhaps in the past it was easier to make things happen because we could actually talk to people. Sometimes we need to be careful about what we tell ourselves inside. For instance, we shouldn't think things like, "My boss never promotes anyone," or "It's hard to find a job at my age, let alone a better one." These kinds of thoughts might suggest that we don't believe we can have what we want. It's crucial to make sure our inner conversations support our desires instead of undermining them. To make our dreams come true, it's important to stick with the positive feelings we get when we picture what we want. This means our inner thoughts should match what we would say if our dream had already come true. Let's say we want to have a car. We might picture a shiny new car in our garage or imagine ourselves driving it around. We could even picture our friends admiring it. Now, the key is to make sure our inner thoughts and self-talk match the conversations we would have if we actually owned that new car. This could mean talking about our new car with our friends, sharing how great the fuel mileage is, or hearing our friends say how much they love riding in our new car. By keeping our thoughts and inner conversations in line with the idea that we already own the car, we're helping to bring that desire into reality. It's like talking about it as if it's already true helps make it true. Our thoughts that we have inside our minds are just as powerful in creating things as when we purposely imagine what we want to happen. Interestingly, if these inner thoughts are in the opposite direction, they can cancel out what we've imagined. So, it's important to pay attention to what we're saying to ourselves inside to make sure it matches what we want. If you notice that the things you're telling yourself inside don't match up with what you want, you need to change them. It's like fixing the direction of your inner talk so that it lines up with what you desire. This means if your inner conversations are not helping you achieve your goal, you have to adjust them so that they go in the same direction as if you already have what you want or are already the person you want to become. It's like tuning your inner thoughts to support your wishes and make them more likely to come true. In the everyday talking that goes on inside our minds, we're actually doing something pretty amazing without even realizing it. Every quiet word, every conversation we have with ourselves in our thoughts, and even the imaginary talks we picture having with others, all play a role in shaping how our lives turn out. These talks aren't just repeating what we think when we're awake. They're like the builders that construct the way our lives look and feel. Our inner conversations are more powerful than we might think. When we become really good at talking to ourselves inside our minds, we unlock a superpower, the ability to shape our lives and make our dreams actually happen. The impact of this skill is huge and goes really deep. Your inside talks don't just affect how you feel, they have a direct say in your health, relationships, job, and how happy you are overall. The quiet conversations you have with yourself and the imaginary talks with others in your mind's alone time have the magical ability to make real, noticeable changes in the world around you. It's not just some make-believe world, it's the real world we're living in, a world that you can actually learn to mold and make it the way you want. When you tune in, you won't just hear abstract ideas. You'll get practical tips that show you how to watch, adjust, and become the boss of the conversations happening in your head. This is not just about fancy theories, it's about real steps you can take. You'll pick up the skill to swap out doubt for confidence, fear for bravery, and thinking about limits for thinking about all the amazing things you can do. The real power to change your life isn't out there in the world around you. It's actually in the talks you have with yourself. Remember, the journey to change the world begins with changing one little talk inside your own mind. So let this episode be the spark that helps you grab hold of those talks, giving you the control to steer your own destiny. Inner talking might seem like a straightforward idea, but it's actually quite deep and meaningful. It's the ongoing flow of thoughts and conversations that happen inside your head. Imagine it as the voice that chimes in when you're by yourself, the quiet commentator on everything happening around you, and the hidden designer of how you feel and act. This inner conversation is something everyone goes through. It's a shared human experience. But interestingly, we tend to overlook just how much it can affect us. It's like a powerful force shaping our thoughts and feelings, even though it happens in a way that's not always obvious. The idea of inner talking is closely tied to how your mind works. It's all about the way you can think in abstract ways and reflect on yourself and what's happening to you. Psychologists see inner talking as a super important part of how you control yourself, solve problems, and make plans. It's like your mind's way of understanding and making sense of everything around you and figuring out where you fit in the big picture of the world. The conversations happening inside your mind can go in two directions, positive and uplifting, or negative and discouraging. Positive talks are the ones that boost you up, offering affirmations, seeing the bright side of things, and giving helpful feedback. They're like the voices that root for you, helping you find the good in tough situations and pushing you to grow and be resilient. On the flip side, negative inner dialogues can be critical, pessimistic, or fear-driven. These are the thoughts that bring you down with harsh self-criticism, making predictions that everything will go wrong and filling you with paralyzing doubt. These negative thoughts might come from past experiences, talks you've had, what society says, or deep-seated insecurities that have been with you for a while. Understanding these different kinds of inner talks helps us navigate our minds and choose the positive ones that lead to growth and well-being. The way you talk to yourself inside your head has a big effect on how you feel and act. When your inner dialogue is positive, it can be like a powerful motivator. It boosts your confidence, makes you feel good about yourself, and helps you bounce back when things get tough. It's like having a cheerleader in your mind, urging you to go after your goals with confidence and a clear head. On the flip side, negative inner talk can hold you back a lot. It can make you scared, lower your self-esteem, and make you feel like you can't do anything. This negativity can create a kind of cycle where you doubt yourself and end up not doing much. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where your negative thoughts make things worse, and you get stuck in a loop of self-doubt and not taking action. Understanding how your inner dialogue works helps you choose the positive thoughts that lead to strength and motivation. The way you talk to yourself inside your head affects how you feel about things that happen to you. When you face tough times, a positive inner dialogue can see these challenges as chances to grow. This kind of talk makes you excited and motivated. On the other hand, if your inner talk is negative, you might see the same challenges as impossible to overcome. This leads to feelings of worry and giving up. What's interesting is that how you talk to yourself inside your head often shows in how you act. Positive inner talking can make you do things like taking risks and grabbing opportunities. It's like your inner cheerleader pushing you to go for it. But if your inner talk is negative, it might make you avoid things, put things off, or even stop yourself from succeeding. Understanding this connection helps us choose positive thoughts that lead to actions that move us forward. To unlock the power of shaping your world, you first need to understand how inner talking works. It's like the steering wheel for your thoughts and feelings. Once you're aware of how you talk to yourself inside your head, you can deliberately guide those talks toward making you feel good and reaching your goals. Let me share some examples of negative inner talking that many of us do, often without even realizing it. I've met really positive people who teach about this stuff but aren't aware of their own inner dialogue. Some say things like, "I'm not good enough for success," or "I always mess things up," or "I'm not as smart or talented as others." It's like they're telling themselves they can't do it. Then there are those who catastrophize. They imagine the worst possible outcome. Like, if I fail this test, my whole future is ruined. Or they didn't laugh at my joke. They must not like me. Or if I make a mistake at work, I'll definitely get fired. The perfectionists are another group, always thinking everyone will notice if something isn't done exactly right. And the overgeneralizers, saying things like, "I got rejected from that job, I'll never find a good job." Or "This always happens to me, I never have any luck." There's also the pessimist who thinks, "Nothing ever goes right in my life," or "Why bother trying? Things never change." These negative talks can hold us back, but recognizing them is the first step to steering our thoughts in a positive direction. People often tend to take things personally, like thinking, "It's my fault they're upset, I always say the wrong things," or wishing they had said something different. There's this fear of being judged where they tell themselves, "If I share my opinion, they'll think I'm dumb," or "I can't wear this, everyone will think I look silly." Then there's the classic feeling of not being good enough, like saying, "I don't deserve to be happy," or "I'm not worthy of good things," or "Why would anyone be interested in me?" The tricky part is that a lot of this negative self-talk happens in our minds, in imaginary conversations. And these imaginary talks can be super powerful. I've seen people get really upset or decide not to do something because of conversations they made up in their heads, conversations that didn't actually happen. It's like our minds can play tricks on us, making us feel bad about things that aren't even real. Understanding this can help us break free from these imaginary traps and choose thoughts that make us feel good about ourselves. Let's say you picture a friend telling you, "Why do you always come to me with your problems? I'm tired of listening to you." Or you imagine your boss saying, "Your work has been really disappointing lately. I expected better from you." But here's the twist. The boss is actually happy with your work, but you've made up this negative conversation in your mind. Now you start feeling nervous around your boss, and even your boss starts acting a bit differently because of this imagined negativity. It's like a made-up story affecting real feelings and actions. I see this happen a lot, people assuming others are passing negative judgments. They might imagine their friends whispering, "Look at what they're wearing. Do they really think they look good in that?" Or they picture a family member saying, "You've changed a lot, not for the better." What's interesting is that these conversations are just in their heads. No one actually said or thought those things. Yet these imaginary talks can lead to real feelings of anger or hurt towards someone who didn't do or say anything negative. Understanding how our minds can create these imaginary scenarios can help us navigate through them and choose thoughts that make us feel better. It's important to realize that we're all connected and share a sort of psychic link with each other. So, when you have these made-up conversations in your mind, there's a connection that happens on a deeper level. The people you're imagining talking to can somehow pick up on those thoughts. For example, you might picture a friend getting really mad at you, saying, "You always let me down. I don't know why I bother with you," even though your friend doesn't actually feel that way. Or you imagine a neighbor telling you, "You're the worst neighbor, always causing problems." And because of this imaginary conversation, you start avoiding your neighbor out of fear. These imagined talks create a kind of energy that others can somehow sense, even though it's not real. So understanding this connection can help us be more aware of the impact our thoughts might have on our relationships. It's like tuning into the idea that what we think about others can affect the way they feel about us, even if it's all happening in our minds. Imagine this. You picture a situation where you suggest an idea at work, and your co-workers quickly brush it off without even thinking, saying, "That's ridiculous." Or you picture a family member not taking your worries seriously, saying, You're always overreacting, it's not a big deal. Many times we play out these pretend talks in our heads as a way of getting ready for real conversations. And guess what? It totally controls and alters the way we actually talk to someone. It's like practicing in your mind can change how things play out in real life. Let's say you imagine a friend spilling your secrets to everyone, saying, "I couldn't keep it to myself, it was too juicy." Now, even though your friend never actually did this, you start treating them as if they spilled your secrets. It's like your mind makes it real, even though it didn't happen. We've all seen this kind of thing. You might picture your partner confessing to cheating, saying, "Yes, I cheated. I knew you'd never find out." But the thing is, maybe your partner never cheated. Still, because of this pretend talk you had in your mind, you start to not trust them. The tricky part is that sometimes what we imagine in our minds can feel just as real as actual reality. That's why our imagination is a big deal. It can shape how we see things and influence how we act, even if what we imagine isn't really happening. Understanding this helps us be more careful about what we imagine and how it can affect our real-life relationships. When you play out these pretend talks in your mind, there's a part of your brain that can't really tell if it's make-believe or real. For example, you might picture yourself tripping in public, and in your imagination, people are laughing, saying, "Can't you even walk properly?" Now, even though this never really happened, you feel embarrassed around people, like they might have laughed at you. Or you imagine giving a presentation, and in your mind, everyone is whispering about how bad you're doing. This imaginary scene can make you nervous about public speaking, even though no one actually said those things. Another example is when you picture a situation where your ideas get ignored in a group, and someone says, "I don't think you have anything worthwhile to add." Now, you might start being really quiet or getting mad at others, assuming they were thinking or saying that. I've seen many arguments start because someone assumed they knew what somebody else was thinking. It's like our minds can't always tell the difference between what's real and what we just imagine. Knowing this can help us be more aware of how our thoughts might be influencing our feelings and actions. The made-up talks you have in your head, especially the negative ones, can have a big effect on how confident you feel, how you act, and how you get along with others. They usually show what you're scared of or insecure about. It's really important to notice these patterns, because that's the first step in changing them. By recognizing how you talk to yourself inside your head, you can start moving towards better and more positive ways of thinking. And most importantly, it helps you steer your thoughts in a direction that matches what you really want in life. There are also lots of awesome examples of positive inner talk. Imagine a friend saying, "I'm always here for you. You can talk to me about anything." Or hear your boss saying, "Your hard work and dedication really stand out. We value your contribution." Now, when you talk to your boss for real, you feel more confident because you've already imagined this positive conversation. It's like you created a positive vibe, and maybe your boss is actually thinking, "This person is working hard and dedicated." When you expect good things often happen. Picture your friends giving you compliments like, "You have such a great sense of style. You always look so amazing." Or imagine your family telling you they're proud of you, saying, "You've grown so much and we're really proud of the person you've become." Try it out. Pay attention to the times when you have positive inner talk and see if those good things actually happen. I've noticed it happens to me a lot. It's like our thoughts can set the stage for positive outcomes in our lives. Imagine this. You picture yourself jumping into a conversation and everyone welcomes you saying, "We're so glad you joined us. We value your input." Or you imagine expressing your feelings to someone you like, and they respond warmly saying, "I'm really happy you shared that with me. I feel the same way." Then in real life, you find yourself in a romantic situation, and it turns out just like you imagined. Or let's say you picture a friend calmly discussing issues with you, saying, "Let's work through this together. Your friendship means a lot." Your next conversation with them is all about working through problems instead of turning into an angry argument. Similarly, you might imagine a family member taking your worries seriously, saying, "Thank you for sharing with me. Let's talk about it." So when you talk to your family about what's bothering you, they appreciate what you're going through, and the whole conversation changes. It's like your thoughts have a way of shaping how things play out in real life. Paying attention to when you have positive thoughts like these can show you how much power your thoughts have in creating positive outcomes. Imagine this. You're a bit anxious about speaking in public, but you picture yourself smoothly handling a social situation or giving a presentation. Maybe you imagine a friend saying, "That was insightful and engaging." Suddenly, when it's time to give that speech, you feel way more comfortable because you already heard that compliment in your mind. This kind of thing happens a lot, and it's super important. It's a side of manifestation and imagination that hasn't been fully explored yet, but it's crucial that we pay attention to it. Our thoughts and imaginations have a powerful impact on how we navigate real-life situations, and understanding this can be a game changer in the world of manifestation and personal growth. Right now, we're in what they call the fourth density, and it's like our thoughts are connected with everyone, but not in an obvious way. It's not like when we were kids, it's way stronger and more intense. When we have those pretend talks in our heads, it's like a kind of daydreaming. It shapes how we see things and how we experience the world around us. And here's the big thing. These imaginary conversations aren't just reflecting what's going on inside us. They're actually building our reality. Think of it this way. If you have positive conversations in your mind, good things are more likely to happen. But if your thoughts are more on the negative side, it might lead to not so great situations. So, understanding how powerful our thoughts are in shaping our reality is a big deal. It's like we're creating our world with the conversations we have in our heads. When you have pretend talks in your head, it's like you're expecting certain things to happen and you believe in those outcomes. Now, if these thoughts are somehow sent out to others psychically, how strongly you feel and how sure you are about them really matters. It's like the power and certainty behind these thoughts can make them more likely to become real. Let's zoom in on the emotions that come with these imaginary conversations. They're filled with feelings, and these emotions are like vibes that others can pick up on without even talking. They have a way of affecting how you feel, your attitude, and how your day goes. If you keep having negative talks in your mind, it's going to shape your mood and outlook to be more negative. And guess what? Your experiences might end up matching these gloomy thoughts because our feelings have a way of influencing the things that happen to us. Understanding this can help us steer our thoughts in a positive direction, creating a better outlook on life. Having these imaginary talks is like starting a loop. The things that happen because of these conversations end up making your beliefs and expectations stronger, shaping how you see the world. It's actually pretty common for people to feel mad or upset with someone for something they said in their mind, even if it never happened in real life. This whole thing is connected to how your brain works and how you feel. It occurs more often than you might think, and it can really affect your relationships and how you feel emotionally. Understanding this can help us be more aware of how our thoughts impact our experiences and emotions. Think about the times you've had an argument, and later, when you're going over it in your head, you come up with all these clever things you could have said. It's like you're replaying the whole argument in your mind. But here's the thing. When you do that, it's like you're still connected to that argument, making it even more intense and worse in your mind. Now let's talk about these pretend talks we have in our heads. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between what's real and what you're just imagining. So when you're having these imaginary conversations, your brain treats them as if they actually happened. The feelings that come with these pretend talks are real, even if the conversation isn't. And because your brain thinks it's real, you might react as if it really happened. Most of the time, these made-up talks are based on what you assume or worry others might think or say. Understanding this can help us be more aware of how our thoughts and emotions are connected, and it can give us more control over how we react in certain situations. Sometimes we put our own worries, things from our past, or opinions onto someone else, making up a conversation that fits what we expect instead of what's real. The longer we keep thinking about these pretend talks, the more our feelings get intense. This kind of overthinking can make bad feelings stronger, and we might end up acting strongly against the person we're imagining talking to. Especially when we're stressed or feeling anxious, our minds tend to go into a negative mode. That's when we're more likely to have these made-up conversations in our heads. And usually these scenarios in our mind reflect our biggest fears or worries, making our emotions go even higher. Understanding this can help us manage our thoughts and emotions better, especially in tough times. If you respond to conversations that only happened in your head, it can cause confusion and unfair judgments of others. Your reactions are not based on what the person actually said or did. Even if you believe they were thinking or about to say something, it's not fair to get upset with them if they didn't actually say it. This kind of reaction can strain relationships because it makes the other person feel wrongly accused or judged for something they never did or said. It can create a lot of emotional ups and downs like fear, anger, hurt, or resentment, all based on made-up situations. Understanding this can help us be more fair in our reactions and keep our relationships healthier. To tackle this issue, the first thing to do is be aware. Notice that these talks you're having in your head are not real and separate them from what's actually happening. This awareness can help you not react too strongly. Next, question what you assume. Always challenge those ideas in your head and ask yourself if they're really true. Doing this can stop you from jumping to conclusions that might not be right. If you have doubts or concerns about what someone is thinking or feeling, it's better to talk to them directly instead of relying on what you imagine. Being open and honest can clear up misunderstandings. Being mindful of your thoughts, paying attention to them, can really help manage how they make you feel. It's like keeping your mind in check. These steps can make a big difference in how you handle these imaginary conversations and keep your emotions in check. First things first, notice that you're having these pretend talks in your head. It's totally normal to get upset over conversations that only happened in your mind. This comes from our complicated way of thinking and feeling. When you get why this happens and figure out how to handle those thoughts in your head, you can handle your feelings better and keep your relationships healthier. Understanding yourself in this way can make a big difference in how you deal with your emotions and connect with others. Being aware of what's going on in your head is super important, not just for how you deal with others, but also for your mental and emotional well-being. Have you ever found yourself lost in thought, creating these detailed conversations and scenes in your mind? It's like there's this ongoing talk inside you that never stops, bringing together your memories, dreams, and expectations. This inner chatter isn't random at all. It's this interesting mix of what you've been through, what you wish for, and what you're scared of. Understanding this mix can really make a difference in how you feel mentally and emotionally. Let's delve into how these inner conversations kick off. Usually, they begin with something tiny, a remark from a coworker, a personal hurdle, or an upcoming event that we're excited or worried about. Our minds grab onto this little seed, whether it's a glance, a gesture, or a single word. And then we use our past experiences, beliefs, and how we're feeling in the moment to build up a whole story. Picture it like a tale playing out in your mind, where you're not only the main character but also the one creating the plot. Have you ever wondered why you create these little stories and conversations in your mind? They're not just for fun. These mental rehearsals actually play a big role in how you make decisions and figure out problems. Picture a time when you had to make a tough choice. Chances are, you thought through different options and what might happen with each one, weighing the good and bad. That's your inner conversation doing its job as you think about what might come from your actions. These talks in your head are also where you deal with your feelings about a decision or problem. It's like having a private space inside your mind to understand and handle your emotions. And don't forget the creative solutions that often pop up during these mental explorations. Sometimes the best ideas come from thinking through scenarios in your mind, letting you see things from different perspectives. Now, paying attention to these conversations is crucial. Many times we're having these talks in our heads without even realizing it, so we need to be mindful. It's kind of like tuning into a radio station. Suddenly, you become more aware of your thoughts and inner dialogue as they happen. Keeping a journal is an excellent tool for this. When you write down your thoughts and feelings, it's like putting all the pieces of a puzzle on a table. You can see the whole picture of your inner dialogue. Another helpful approach is using cognitive behavioral techniques. These techniques help you spot recurring themes and biases in your thoughts. And let's not underestimate the power of taking a reflective pause. Just take a moment during the day to check in with your thoughts. It can make a big difference. Think of it like giving yourself a mental break to understand what's going on inside your head. Understanding your thoughts is important, and sometimes discussing them with others can bring a new point of view. It's like someone holding up a mirror to your inner dialogue, showing you angles you might have missed on your own. The mechanics of these inner conversations are complex and deeply connected to who you are. When you understand and become aware of these dialogues, you gain valuable insights into yourself. This knowledge becomes a tool for making better decisions, solving problems more effectively, and in the end, shaping your reality more consciously and deliberately. It's like having a guide to navigate the twists and turns of your own thoughts and use them to your advantage. The next time you catch yourself lost in thought, realize that it's not just random daydreaming. You're involved in a powerful process that's shaping your reality. Consider those moments as incredibly important. Think of your inner conversations as a compass guiding you toward your deepest desires and goals. And here's the exciting part. You can actually control and direct this compass towards where you want to go. That's the essence of aligning your inner conversation with your desires. To achieve this, you must transform your inner talking to support your personal goals. Picture it like gardening, a metaphor I often use because it just works so well. You have to pull out the negative thoughts like weeds and plant seeds of positive dialogue. It's like tending to your mental garden, ensuring that the thoughts you nurture lead you in the direction of your aspirations. Let's say you want to feel more confident in social situations. Instead of thinking, "I'm always so awkward at parties," try changing your thoughts to something like, "I'm learning to enjoy social gatherings more and more each time." It's all about guiding your thoughts in a way that supports your goals. Practicing positive inner dialogues is a bit like learning a new language. It takes practice. You're essentially reprogramming your mind to think in a way that boosts your confidence and helps you achieve what you want. So be patient with yourself and give it some time to become a natural part of your thinking. It's like building a skill through consistent practice. Here's a simple exercise to boost your positive thinking. Start and end your day with affirmations. In the morning, kick things off by telling yourself something uplifting related to your goals. If you're aiming for a promotion, say something like, "I am capable and deserving of this new role." Before you hit the hay, reflect on positive thoughts about your progress. Think of it as giving your mind a roadmap of where you want to go. Remember how powerful journaling can be? Give it a shot. Write down those negative thoughts and then consciously rewrite them into positive ones. It's like transforming a gloomy story into one with a happy ending. As you make this a routine, it will gradually reshape the way you talk to yourself in your head. You won't need to journal forever. After just a few times, you'll notice how your thoughts are changing and you might think, "Wow, I used to think that way." It's like giving your mind a positive makeover. There are countless inspiring stories of real-life transformations. Back when I taught public speaking at the University of Wyoming, I had a student who struggled with speaking. Her inner dialogue was filled with fears of being judged and failing. When I spoke to her, she shared that it was all these inner conversations, what people might be thinking and saying about her while she spoke. As she started replacing those fears with visualizations of successful presentations and positive affirmations, I witnessed a gradual change in her. Her confidence grew, and so did her ability to speak in public. It's like she rewired her brain to view public speaking as an opportunity rather than a threat or something dreadful. This shift in her inner dialogue made a significant impact on how she approached and embraced public speaking. Here's another story about a friend of mine who always dreamed of starting his own business but felt held back by thoughts of not having enough skills. He would often say, "I can never do that. I don't have the skill. I don't have the education. I'm not going to be good enough. People are going to make fun of me." He would even imagine conversations where people criticized him if he started his business. However, when he started aligning his inner conversations with his entrepreneurial dreams, telling himself that he was learning and growing each day, his perspective began to shift. This change in mindset motivated him to take concrete steps toward his goal. Today, he successfully runs his own startup, proving that reshaping your inner dialogue can be a powerful catalyst for turning dreams into reality. The stories we've explored emphasize the significant impact our self-talk can have. It can either be a formidable obstacle or a potent tool. When you align your inner dialogue with your desires, you not only pave the way to achieving your goals, but also make the journey itself more enjoyable. Always keep in mind that the conversations you hold within yourself serve as the foundation upon which you construct your life. So why not build it with thoughts that uplift you and propel you forward? Recognize that each inner conversation is like an act of imagination, and these imaginative acts have the power to manifest in reality. By understanding this, you gain the ability to shape your life in a way that brings fulfillment and success, one positive thought at a time. When we talk about imaginary conversations, it's like stepping into a captivating world, where we play the roles of both the scriptwriters and the actors. Everyone engages in these dialogues, talking to ourselves or imagining conversations with others in our minds. Sometimes these are rehearsals for actual talks we practice before engaging with someone. Other times, they serve as reflections of our most profound fears, hopes, and dreams. It's a fascinating journey into the theatre of our minds, where our thoughts take center stage. Consider the conversations we hold with our imagined selves. These are the times when we might scold ourselves, give words of encouragement, or ponder our decisions. It's akin to having an internal advisor, a voice within that guides us. This self-talk holds tremendous power in influencing both our actions and how we see ourselves. If these dialogues are consistently critical, they can erode our self-esteem. On the other hand, if our internal voice is kind and encouraging, it becomes a source of uplifting empowerment. Let's delve into the realm of imaginary conversations with others. It's something we've all experienced, isn't it? Having arguments in our heads, envisioning the perfect romantic dialogue. These mental exchanges have a significant impact on how we perceive the people around us. If we constantly imagine conflicts, it could lead us to be more defensive or irritable when interacting with those individuals in real life. On the flip side, if our imagined interactions are positive and understanding, they can nurture a sense of empathy and connection with others. So, how can we transform these internal dialogues into constructive and positive narratives? It requires mindfulness, being aware, observing, and altering the script. If you catch yourself engaging in a negative imaginary conversation, hit pause and rewrite it. Transform a mental argument into a constructive discussion. Envision resolving conflicts, understanding the other person's perspective, or offering compassion to yourself. Another useful strategy is to use these imaginary dialogues for positive visualization. Prior to a real-life conversation or event, imagine it unfolding smoothly. Visualize yourself speaking confidently, receiving positive feedback and achieving the outcomes you desire. Think of it as providing yourself with a mental rehearsal for success. Remember, these internal conversations act as rehearsals for real-life interactions, shaping your preparedness for better or worse outcomes. By steering them in a positive direction, even when dealing with frustration or anger, you not only enhance your mental well-being, but also set the stage for more positive real-life relationships. Given all this, creating effective affirmations becomes crucial, a bit like planting seeds in a garden. Crafting an affirmation involves starting with a clear understanding of what you truly want. Precision matters. Rather than a broad statement like, "I want to be happy," get specific. Define what happiness looks like for you. For example, you might say, "I am joyful in my work and love my life." It's essential to phrase these affirmations in the present tense, as if they are already a reality. Initially, it might feel a bit like make-believe, but here's the catch. Your subconscious mind doesn't neatly separate reality from imagination. When you affirm your desires as if they are already true, you're essentially training your mind to believe in their feasibility. Moving forward, repetition and belief become the next key elements, a bit like regularly watering the seeds you've planted. Repetition is essential, akin to cultivating a habit. Daily practice is valuable, but there's a caveat. Avoid falling into the trap of what Jesus referred to as vain repetition. In other words, don't mindlessly repeat. Infuse your affirmations with genuine feeling, emotion, and belief. Whether you say them aloud in the morning, jot them down in a journal, or silently repeat them during your commute, the repetition is crucial. It ingrains these thoughts into your subconscious, integrating them into your internal dialogue. However, belief serves as the sunlight required for growth. Mere lip service won't cut it. Without genuine belief, your affirmations risk becoming the empty repetitions cautioned against by Jesus. They're less likely to take root and flourish. Developing belief may require some time, especially when addressing entrenched doubts or beliefs instilled by your culture and family over the years. One effective method to nurture this new belief is through visualization. As you regularly affirm your positive statements, accompany them with vivid mental imagery of the desired outcome. Envision the success and immerse yourself in the emotions associated with achieving what your affirmation expresses. This process is akin to infusing a black and white sketch of your desire with vibrant colors and bringing it to life. I've witnessed remarkable transformations in people through the practice of positive affirmations. One of my students, who grappled with self-esteem issues, adopted affirmations like, "I am worthy and capable of achieving great things." By consistently repeating this affirmation throughout the day, his internal dialogue shifted, leading to a profound change in how he perceived himself. This newfound confidence empowered him to tackle challenges he had previously avoided. Similarly, another student, burdened by financial anxiety, embraced the affirmation, "I am financially secure and wise with money." Through regular repetition, her mindset transformed. She started making more informed financial decisions and even discovered new opportunities to enhance her income. These examples illustrate the tangible impact that positive affirmations can have on reshaping one's beliefs and actions. These narratives illustrate that positive inner talking goes beyond mere wishful thinking. It serves as a practical tool for transforming your thoughts and, consequently, your life. By formulating affirmations that resonate with your core desires, repeating them consistently, and infusing them with genuine belief, you initiate substantial changes within yourself and influence the world around you. So why not embark on this journey? Begin crafting your own affirmations and explore the transformative potential of fostering a positive inner dialogue. Here are 15 affirmations that you can use whenever you find yourself caught in negative inner conversations. 1. I have the potential to accomplish remarkable things, and I trust in my capability to do so. 2. Every day I become stronger and more resilient when faced with challenges. 3. I consciously choose to focus on positive aspects and discover joy in small moments. 4. I am deserving of respect, love, and fulfillment in every facet of my life. 5. Positive thoughts fill my mind, and this positivity manifests abundantly in my life. 6. I possess the power to instigate change and create a significant impact. 7. I approach each day with confidence and an open heart. 8. My inner dialogue is compassionate and encouraging, nurturing both my soul and mind. 9. Abundance surrounds me and I attract opportunities for growth and success. 10. I believe in my dreams and my internal conversations align with these aspirations. 11. I have the bravery to ardently pursue my dreams. 12. Challenges are stepping stones for personal growth, and I face them with a positive mindset. 13. My happiness is within my control, and I choose happiness daily, regardless of external circumstances. 14. I trust my intuition and wisdom to guide me in making sound decisions, not relying on imaginary conversations. 15. I radiate love and positivity, becoming a beacon of kindness to those around me. With every step I take, I move closer to realizing my goals and aspirations. Take a moment to craft affirmations tailored to the specific thoughts and inner conversations you experience. Grab a piece of paper, jot down your affirmations, and consider placing them where you can easily see them, on the wall, mirror, or any place you frequent. Memorize these affirmations and make it a habit to say them regularly. This practice is your tool to shift the balance away from negative inner conversations that might be occurring within you. It's an active step toward overcoming these challenges and fostering a more positive mindset. Embrace the power of affirmations as a way to reshape your internal dialogue and create a healthier mental environment. Have you ever experienced how a few negative thoughts can rapidly escalate into a flood of self-doubt and limiting beliefs? Recognizing and understanding this self-talk is the initial phase of changing it, almost like being a detective investigating your own mind. Often negativity creeps in quietly, a small voice suggesting you're not capable or unable to succeed. It's crucial to identify these thoughts and remember they are just thoughts, not proven facts. This awareness is the key to breaking free from their influence. A useful strategy is to confront these negative thoughts. When such a thought arises, challenge it. Pose questions like, is this genuinely accurate? Can I recall instances when this wasn't true? Think of it as shedding light on a dark corner. You don't have to embrace the negativity just because it occurred to you. This way, the shadows become less daunting, and you regain control over your thoughts. A highly effective method is to embrace self-compassion. Treat yourself as kindly as you would a close friend. Instead of thinking, I always mess up, tell yourself, I might make mistakes at times, but I learn and grow from them. The goal is to change the story from self-criticism to one of understanding and encouragement. Overcoming self-doubt and limiting beliefs is akin to exercising a muscle. It demands regular practice. Affirmations prove to be valuable tools in this process. Repeatedly recite positive statements that directly challenge your doubts. For example, if the thought crosses your mind that I am not capable, rephrase it into a positive affirmation like, I am capable and strong. Consistent effort in this practice can gradually strengthen your mindset. Visualization serves as a powerful tool to enhance your inner dialogue. Envision yourself triumphing over negative thoughts and achieving success in your pursuits. Paint a vivid mental picture of this success. Immerse yourself in the feelings of joy that accompany it. By engaging in this positive imagery, you allow constructive changes to flood your mind, displacing the negative thoughts. Consider a person I know who believed he wasn't intelligent enough for higher education, despite being exceptionally bright. His mind was clouded with doubts and negative self-talk, convincing him of his perceived inadequacy. However, when he took the initiative to challenge these thoughts and visualize success, a positive shift occurred. He decided to enroll in night classes, and with every small achievement, his confidence grew. Eventually, he not only pursued but successfully completed higher education. The transformation in his inner dialogue played a pivotal role in transforming his life for the better. Take Jenny, for example. She used to be overwhelmed with criticisms about her weight and appearance to the point where leaving her house seemed impossible. Jenny decided to practice self-compassion and affirmations. As time passed, her self-image underwent a positive transformation. She started prioritizing self-care, not driven by self-loathing but fueled by self-love. Jenny's journey wasn't just about physical health. It was a triumphant effort to overcome the negative voices that had hindered her progress for a significant period. Let's say you have a big goal, like buying your dream home. Instead of just imagining it, Immerse yourself fully. Close your eyes and walk through the house in your mind. Feel the smooth hardwood floors beneath your feet. See the sunlight streaming through the windows. Smell the fresh paint and hear the laughter of your family in the conversation. Now, add positive inner dialogue. Remind yourself, I've worked hard for this and I truly deserve it. Envision people congratulating you on your new home. But it's not just about images and words. Engage all your senses. Imagine the texture, visualize the colors, and play the sounds vividly in your mind. Emotions play a crucial role in this process. Every time you visualize, infuse it with positive emotions. Feel the joy, the pride, and the sense of achievement as if it's happening right now. These emotions are the driving force, turning your mental exercise into a profound experience. It's not just a thought, it becomes a part of who you are. Begin your mornings before the hustle and bustle of the day takes over. Allocate a few moments just for yourself. It could be as short as a couple of minutes spent on affirmations, engaging in a visualization exercise, or practicing mindful breathing. By tuning into your inner thoughts and conversations, you're essentially laying the groundwork for a building. This morning routine serves as the cornerstone for everything that unfolds throughout the day. Integrate these practices into your daily routine effortlessly. When commuting, rather than letting your mind drift aimlessly, use the time for positive inner dialogue. Transform routine chores such as washing dishes or taking a shower into moments of reflection or uplifting self-talk. The key is to identify those small time intervals and purposefully utilize them. Utilize them for positive conversations with yourself. Long-term strategies play a vital role in maintaining positive inner conversations. Regular check-ins are crucial for sustaining this positive dialogue. Set aside some time each week to reflect on your goals and the progress you've achieved. Ask yourself questions like, am I still in harmony with my desires? Have my goals evolved? Think of it as checking a map during a lengthy journey to ensure you're on the correct route. Consistency is the cornerstone of success in this endeavor. The more frequently you engage in these practices, the more naturally they will integrate into your daily life. It's not about making drastic changes, but taking small, consistent steps that gradually pave the way for transformation. Establish a regular routine to observe and enhance your inner conversations. Think of it as creating checkpoints along your daily journey. As you navigate through your day, leverage moments of transition for quick self-checks. These transitions could be right before a meeting, during a coffee break, or even while waiting in line. Utilize these brief intervals to readjust your thoughts, similar to gently steering a slightly off-course boat back to its intended path. Incorporate inner talking techniques into different aspects of your life. The impact can be incredibly empowering. If you're gearing up for a major presentation, guide your inner dialogue towards confidence and envision success. When approaching a challenging conversation, prepare yourself with affirmations focused on understanding and empathy. Think of it as having a specific and effective tool for each task you encounter. Always remember the journey is about progress, not perfection. Some days may feel smoother than others, and that's perfectly normal. The objective is to gradually integrate positive inner talking into the very fabric of your daily life. If you've recently experienced a challenging real-life conversation that didn't go well, maybe a heated argument or saying things you regret, consider using a technique called revision. Take a step back and mentally revisit that conversation. Strive to remove the emotional intensity from it. If there's a psychic connection, perhaps you can alter or reshape their recollection of the conversation or their expectations for it. This could influence how they respond to it in the future. When faced with a difficult argument, it's beneficial to attempt a revision promptly, aiming to reshape the narrative and emotional impact right away. When a difficult conversation is still fresh in your mind, it's crucial to revisit it mentally. This practice can be one of the most valuable things you'll ever discover. A heated argument has the power to disrupt your entire day, week, or even year. However, if you take a moment to sit down, relax, and reimagine the conversation, you can change its course. In this mental revision, You avoid saying the regrettable things that might have fueled the conflict. When you encounter the person again, it's almost as if the initial disagreement never occurred. This process allows you to reshape the situation in your mind, altering the outcome and potentially preventing lingering negative consequences. In this audiobook, we delved into the fascinating world of inner talking, recognizing it as a constant companion shaping our mental landscape. Much like a skilled sculptor, we explored how our inner dialogue molds our emotions, guides our decisions, and ultimately charts the course of our lives. Our journey continued into the realm of aligning these conversations with our desires. By skillfully steering our internal narratives, we uncovered the transformative power of turning our inner voice into a steadfast ally in the pursuit of fulfillment and success. Practicality became a focus as we discussed the ways to seamlessly integrate these practices into our daily lives. Emphasizing the importance of consistency, you discovered that by infusing positive inner talking into your daily routine, you can navigate a steady course toward your goals with confidence and purpose. Understanding the impact of your inner dialogue on both personal and professional relationships is truly enlightening. It underscores the broad-reaching effects of the conversations you have with yourself, illustrating how they can reverberate outward, significantly influencing your interactions and relationships. The stories and case studies I've shared serve as compelling examples, testifying to the remarkable transformative power of inner talking. However, it's essential to recognize that with great power comes great responsibility. As you harness the potential of inner talking, it becomes crucial to tread this path with mindfulness and integrity. Ensure that your internal conversations not only align with your desires, but also contribute positively to the well-being and respect of those around you. This mindful approach will create a harmonious balance in the impact of your inner dialogue on both yourself and your relationships. You possess the ability to utilize inner conversations as a potent tool to support and uplift others. Consider someone who is currently unemployed. You can imagine engaging in a conversation with them where they share their experiences as employed. Similarly, if someone is facing financial challenges, envision a dialogue in which they express how wonderful their financial situation is. Likewise, for someone without a car, picture them talking to you excitedly about their new car. This approach can be more accessible for many individuals, especially when vivid visualization is challenging. Some people find it easier to imagine the conversation itself, the exact voice, the nuances of how the person would sound, and the details of their expression. It's a compassionate way to employ the power of inner conversations to inspire and encourage others. As you conclude this audiobook, it's crucial to grasp one fundamental idea. Your inner dialogue isn't just a faint murmur lost in emptiness. It is, in fact, the mastermind behind the world you experience. By becoming adept at the skill of inner talking, you possess a key that can unlock your utmost potential. This mastery doesn't merely pave the way for a successful life, but one that is profoundly satisfying. Carry this understanding with you and leverage your inner conversations as tools to shape a life aligned with your deepest aspirations. Envision a life where your dreams seamlessly blend with reality. Keep in mind that the most impactful conversation you engage in is the one you have with yourself. It's a conversation that can set the course for a life filled with achievement and contentment. Thanks for listening.